simply crumbled. That most recent match down in Tirang, where they were hunting for a victory against the home side, could not find one. Did at least get a response in from Sadiq Suli 26 minutes in to force at least a 1-1 draw situation where they came out with a point at least. But for Drukpa, the opposing result, in fact, 1-3, the result of their most recent match versus Paro. Fahad Timuri came in clutch to deny the clean sheet. But right now, Thimphu City, a team with a completely different play style. You can argue that they are similar to Paro in that they look for goals, they hunt for those opportunities up front. But they are a bit more tactical, they are a bit more slow, they are a bit more traditional about it in a way, if you think about it. And right now, because of that hard work, they get an opportunity early on. Jonathan Zorella, right up alongside Richard Sania as one of the league's most producive creators. Thimphu City's top assist to his name. Almost got it past Philip Eugene as well, but no success. Tawa, last year's recipient of the highest award here in the season. But this year, his production just hasn't really been up to the mark. Did get a couple of goals to his name too, I believe, so far, but we know his production may want a bit more this time. Does let it off for Organ, who was the scorer for Thimphu City. In there assaulting, but Kinzatashi, opportunity early on, came off the crossbar. Organ looking for the follow-up, but Chong Lee able to get right to it. An early jump scare, 2 minutes in on the dot, as well as Kinzatashi found himself with an unnatural bit of space to let that one off. Thimphu City with almost an early lead. But without seeing it go in, Drukpa will have their hearts elevated. But look at the shot. Did well setting it out. Woo Kyung Yun did have the positioning covered. Sachin Jha just got off with the whippage on that ball. Went in the opposite direction. Would have surely beat Sachin Jha, especially with the pace too. But hopefully this is a situation Thimphu City can recreate again and again, because Drukpa may want to get themselves a bit of breathing room and a bit of their focus committed to this game. Zorella, Karmashirab on the right has a shot come in, and despite how dangerous it looked, will swerve away from the top corner of the post. Two close chances, a lot of space given away by Drukpa inside the first 3 minutes of the game, and Thimphu City gladly taking this. Drukpa may eventually want to keep a couple of touches away from Thimphu City, so that at least the momentum that Thimphu has gained with those two shots are dwindled at least ever so slightly. Is a reality they for sure did not expect this early on. Has one of the most exciting back line across the entirety of the league. Bella, as beloved, did get his chance up to shine in the national squad alongside Min Shin, Woo Kyung Yun and Jimmy Tenzin. Lots of beloved names, but right now may need a bit more help in midfield from Burun Kangyamam and Kinle Rapke to cover for those shots coming in from Thimphu from range. The citizens do have the quality to continue on with those shots. But right now it is a throw-in all the way inside their own half that they are forced back into. Sadiq Suli forced to retreat. Cross played up. Organ does get a header up. Able to keep it towards Dawa. It will be a throw-in the other way. Strong contest between the two. Again, the expectations for physicality going into this match are at an all-time high. It was 4 minutes All it took for Bella to get the first yellow card of the match during their first meetup. Chiano Indo all the way from the other end for Thimphu City. Took only 10 minutes to get his yellow card. Ugintoji from Thimphu City followed it up 16 minutes in, and Sullivan 38 minutes got his first yellow card. 4 yellow cards inside the first half. Does attest to the challenges that both of these teams will really love forwarding against each other. But right now, Karma shit up. Sat himself way too deep in, and that ball just went over. Loved the attempt, but just missed the connection. Sachin Jha did have an amazing position in response to that possible attempt from Thimphu City. Does speak for great signs for Drukpa to come, as despite the attempts they have conceded so far, that have come against them so far, the scoreline still nil 6 minutes in, and Tawat sitting. Has really been a while since the winger has tried a shot for himself from a range. Siddiqui Jawara from Paro really having his share of fun. But again, in the league here in Bhutan, we all know Dawat Sering is the man we look forward to for these kinds of shots, and this season hasn't really met his quota. Space popping up on that right flank. Sadiq Suli hunting for an exploit. Kushan does play a clean ball up, but Sadiq Suli not quite the best of decisions, letting it roll. Bella with an easy read and a clear. Kushan played over to Sadiq Suli, can't keep it towards Karma Sherup, and now Bella with a clean pass out again. At least in the first half of the season, Bella just phenomenal in his defensive ability alongside Woo Kyung Yun and Min Shin. But in the second half of their campaign thus far, Bella has been a bit shaky, especially when it comes to keeping those short passes towards his teammates and those clearances. He could have sent those long, but while trying to keep them short and towards teammates, it has conceded in a lot. It has turned out in a lot of opportunities over for his opposition to capitalize on those mistakes. Hopefully Bella keeps those to a bare minimum for today, because the recent games have been not really up to par for Bella. Strong as always, posted up against Sadiq Suli, but Thimphu City will get that chance for their second corner of the day. Jonathan up for the task again as a creator, no doubt with regards to his quality. The only question is, can he bring his A game today, where it really matters? Paro ever so steadily escaping their grasp. They may need the 3 points, as a header does connect, but it is sent down towards the ground by Chiano. Cleared off by Jimmy Tenzin, throw in from a much deeper area of the pitch. Played back, Jingnam Seltop. Philip Eugene up front. Assignment taken on by Lejanov. Tried to play it back towards Chongli, but Jonathan Zorella right in the middle of that space. Fahad. Still Fahad again. All eyes should be on 77 for Drukpa, especially heading into the match today for the offensive workload for Drukpa FC. Does have the quality, does have the confidence to put up goals, whether it be through assists, whether it be through attempts from his own part. But right now it is Thimphu City taking it quick. Sadiq Suli, the recipient. Min Shin putting up pressure, may have the weight advantage, but Sadiq Suli somehow still able to keep his balance. Fair play from Min Shin first time around. Sadiq Suli a bit disgruntled after not getting the call on those repeated challenges mounting on from Min Shin. Went in for a play of redemption from his zone. Ended up getting the whistle instead. Barun Kangyawam, a name we haven't seen in a long while. Brought in very, very early for Drukpa's campaign. Has been sitting on Drukpa's bench for so long. Nice to see him back, however. Hopefully he is able to contribute to today's game. Time and time we've seen players who've been sat on the bench for far too long see an immense drop in quality. Hopefully they are not affected today, but just a reality that could possibly be the case for Drukpa. Thimphu City. Smart thinking from Dawa. Did not really have the line to force a shot or even a cross, given the fact that Jimmy was right up in front, but does at least force out a corner. And now Jonathan, the chance to set up one more opportunity. A lot of corners already for Thimphu City inside the first 11 minutes of the game. And they did come close. Chieno did get ahead of once, but just unable to guide it towards the target. May look to send it towards either Chieno or Sadiq, who are posted right up around Sachin Jha. Dawa and Organ possibly looking for shots. Barun Kangyamam making sure that the wider option is closed down. Missed everybody. Almost went in as well. Almost a close call. Drukpa may not really have been intentional, but again did go their way, so it will go to Sachin Jha. Bella can't quite get the elevation he wants. Now the 21-year-old. Back to Min Shin. Bella the wider option, possibly the target as well. Sherup making a play on the ball, just force it enough to cause a bit of confusion in midfield. Woo Kyung Yun forcing that ball up, and Chieno will keep it towards Jonathan Zorella. Amazing pass up front, and now Dawa mashed up against Jimmy. Feint, left foot, space open up past the legs of Jimmy Tenzin. Chaos inside, and Sadiq Soli did get the turnaround, but a bit of a fumble will send ball out for a clearance all the way back towards Thimphu City's backline. So a lot of teams for Thimphu City who has gotten the start this time around. Both teams, in fact. For Thimphu, it has been Kamar Sherup who has been an option off the bench that has come in. A legend of their Uzbeki defender. Playing centre back instead of Kushan Ganijanov, who just made that mistake. Turned it over to Philip Eugene, and now back over to Baran Kangebam. Fahad Simuri the target, but Kushan able to redeem himself. Kinza Tashi. A bit more freedom today to operate up front, with Kushan Ganijanov covering his flank, and now Kinza on the flank. Sadiq Suli does exploit the space off of the gravity of Kinza, looking for that shot, but that pass intercepted by Bella. Close call coming in, just two it took to dribble all the way in between those four defenders from Drukpa. Made the situation look as dangerous as they could among the pair of them, but wasn't really enough to get the job done. Also last time around, during their first matchup in round one, it was Jonathan Zorella who got the red after the game. In fact, had a bit of a tussle with their bench. And Drukpa, it was Kaman Namgil who ended up getting a red. but did have a lot of issues going into those red cards as well. A lot of intervention from the audience as well. But today Drukpa FC's cheering squad does seem to have chilled down a little bit, at least in the second half, after that bit of an issue with Thimphu. Back out to Sachin Jha again. So far up run looking promising. Dawa does feel like he has a bit more space for his own operations. They do have Bakrom on the bench, who typically started recently alongside Sadiq Suli as the next forward option. Does have an equally impressive production to boast as well alongside Sadiq Suli. 6 goes to his name. Does make for a lethal duo up front. But again, last game versus Tirang, it was Dominic Douglas who got the call up instead to the squad, instead of Bakrom. And right now that ball couldn't have been cleaner, but Jignam Seltop too far behind. Again for Thimphu City, Jitsin on the bench, Gilipenjar on the bench, Tsidimpeza on the bench, Dominic Douglas on the bench, and Kush Bozarov on the bench. The guy with the mask, as I'm sure you'll remember. But Sadiq Suli, the chance again, but three good attempts from Thimphu City with a lot of space, taking that option mid-range. But none of them has connected. The first chance came in 2 minutes on the dot from Ginzatesh stopped in. Was the most impressive shot today so far. Kamasheruk did get an amazing shot as well, and right now Sadiq Suli warmed up properly all across the board. Thimphu City do have the more dominant side to the possession, at least inside the first quarter of an hour of the game. Drukpa FC may look to respond. Started off their campaign as a more of a counter-attacking team. Eventually, with the addition of Fahad Simuri, they have shifted away from that identity a little bit. Instead of looking to blitz through sheer numbers, did have Leon Sullivan and Matthew Musa early on alongside Philip Eugene that they could rely on in those counter-attacking opportunities. But right now Fahad Timuri has taken that identity and warped it into completely different as Thimphu City. Sadiq Suli! The second attempt he's gotten back-to-back as well. Set up quite lovely there with a run down from the flank. Thought that had a really high chance of going in, but again, without netting it, the result still staying the same. Couldn't keep it grounded, but again, look at the effort from the captain of Drukpa. Bella posted right in that line alongside Sachin Jha. 2 amazing goal line clearances for Bella this season, and it is steadily counting on. But right now we have Philip Eugene for Drukpa down on the ground. Again, number 3 for Thimphu City on screen right now. Alechanov, not a part of Thimphu City's opening campaign, but the Uzbeki brought in steadily. A lot of Uzbeki presences again coming into Bhutan. Does make for a good inflow of talent, a bit more variety in terms of nationalities we got here going on. And also with the rule changes, with the 3 more additional players allowed regionally in your squad, making it a total of 8 foreign players. We have also seen a lot of new players coming in from India, from Nepal. Drukpa FC making the most out of that situation. Alongside Tirang does have the better Indian signings. Trying again on the left this time. That run perfectly timed from Sadiq Suli. Minshin late to the challenge. Sadiq Suli does stumble. Ball is still his. Jignam Seltop looking to play it in with that left foot. Touch comes in off of Tawa. Oh Kyung-yun took a bit of risk forcing that header out. Had Sachin Jha right there, but now Kushan Ganejanov. Bella just in the nick of time, heading it away from Organ Wanchu. Possession still. Jignam. Tawa on the left flank. Catch out the box. That situation has blessed Tawa with a lot of goals, but right now forcing a slight retreat as Tawa will keep it on. Right foot floats it away from Sachin Jha. Had that chance for Kamashidam to get an amazing goal in, but that header sent it straight down to the ground and towards Sachin Jha. A lot of chances missed for Thimphu City 20 minutes in. This situation may not be one Thimphu City wants to be in for long. You think something is going in your place, eventually remain stagnant in the mood of wanting to score up front, and eventually shift their positioning slightly up front. That may very well be a chance for Drukpa to counter, but hopefully Thimphu City are able to remain disciplined enough as Drukpa through Minchin force a ball overhead, and it will go out for Tsering Dendrup. Bella and Nadra Starks gets that bounce off of Sadiq Suli, and Sachin Jha able to clean it away in the nick of time. But pressure still not enough. Jimmy head up. Jignam Seltop looking to keep play alive, but unable to do so. Still there throw-ins to take. So Thimphu City right now no need to rush. Drukpa on the other end has not managed to get a single shot off over against Tsering Dendrup. All their passes are either going very short from Bella or going very long from Min Shin. And without any pass coming in between, it is becoming an arduous task up front for Drukpa. Fahad Timuri may want to get himself involved sometime soon, but right now Chieno Endo coming in strong. Man down for Drukpa, possession for Drukpa as well. Ishiwanchu alongside Nyakam was the two-pronged spear of Drukpa FC that got them through the qualifiers in the first place, that brought them to the top flight of Bhutanese football. Still remember the first two games of Drukpa FC, who were back then Namla FC. It was Yishe who opened up with a hat-trick, followed up with a goal from Nyakam. And then in the second game it was Kinchitopke who had a hat-trick followed by a goal from Ishiwanchu. Amazing partnership between the two, but right now Nyakam is on the bench. Did see him start in the second round for Drukpa, but right now does seem to have settled back as an option off the bench. But right now, chance coming up again for Drukpa. May not want to force an outlet that early. Cross comes in, but over the line and out. Lejonov. Sadiq Suli saw an excellent display of ball control and ball keeping ability, especially as the target man in the first couple of games of the season. That first game versus Thimphu, I believe, was just simply outstanding from Sadiq Suli. And again, by no means has he been awful this season. He has been an amazing top scorer for a reason. But right now, that touch was just simply awful. And now Tawa taken away inside the box. Pass Sachin Jha and out! What a miss from the winger. Tawa. If Drukpa's heart rate were not in dangerous levels before, it should be now. So many misses for Thimphu as they struggle on with that curse of theirs. Look at the opportunity again. Had Sadiq. Could have passed, went for the goal and missed instead. By no means was that shot a bad decision as well, because it is Dawa after all. But hopefully Thimphu City does not come to regret this miss down the line and down the match. A legend of playing it up front. Sadiq Suli. Touch sends it past Minshin, and now Dawa. Jignam. Kept back towards Jignam. Jonathan, not much space. Kinle does well taking it away, and now Chieno Endo played back towards sitting Tendru, who has a lot of space up in front if he wants to take it up front himself. Thimphu City looking to stretch Drukpa a bit thinner. They are not falling for the bait, but that does open up just enough space for Tawa. But unable to get the delivery. Pinpoint. It is Jimmy Tenzin who heads it away for a throw-in for Drukpa's Thimphu City. Tawa with a lot of space again, left foot. The weight of that miss seems like it is still lingering in the back of the winger's mind. A bad decision this time. Karma Sherup tried to let it roll past Woo Kyung Yun, who had none of it. And now Kilerabge over to Barun Kangibam. Barun up front towards Yeshe. A bit of a tussle coming in between the two. Referee does allow play to build on, but Jonathan immediately takes it away. And now up front they do have three, Organ and Sadiq Suli. Sadiq, Jimmy closing in. Sadiq loses balance. Has Karma Sherup posted behind Sadiq Suli, and that may have been a bit too much. Sadiq Suli grappled down by Jimmy. A closer look at the replay instead. Well, no argument with that. Jimmy, for sure the one initiating that. Not quite sure how he was down. Yellow card over to Sadiq Suli, but it is still Thimphu City that has gotten a clean chance right along the line of Drukpa FC. Daud Sering waiting for an option out wide. Fahad Timuri closing in to deny that chance. It may very well be a cross past Sachin Jha if Chieno and Sadiq Suli can get their run time to perfection. That aerial ability may be put to the test. Can Jonathan get it right? It is. Swung in, and Min Shin able to get a great read on that. Went for it straight. And the Korean giant denying that chance. Thimphu City forced a bit further out, but it may be a better range to attempt for a cross. Kushan Ganijanov signaling behind Sachin Jha, who can't quite be bothered to track back. Cross is right in the middle. Chaos keeps it in, but no success on the execution. It will go the other way. Drukpa take a quick one. And now Fahad Timuri offside. Flag up. Thimphu City to take it the other way. Quick possessions coming in from both teams, looking to heat up. Again, after all the mistakes Thimphu City has made so far. 29 minutes in, still goalless here at Chang Limitang. Chance over on the flanks. Jonathan inside, right foot maybe coming in, but overhit again. So many chances opening up for Thimphu City, and right now Drukpa not really having to work that hard to get those shots away from their net. Thimphu City, their own undoing has been their own inability to put that ball behind the back of Sachin Jha. And as we've seen so far this season, Drukpa FC only need one swing in momentum to get their goals in. On screen, the Korean Woo Kyung-yun typically plays side back, but it can move in to the middle. Has been the creative spark for so many Drukpa offense build-ups. But with Chong Lee now in the mix down the middle, that delegation, that responsibility has dwindled down a little bit. Lejon. Kinzatashi in the middle. Not a responsibility we see him bear. Him and Jegnam down on the flanks is where we typically see them. But Rena Karmashidop. An unfortunate miss and cleared off towards Fahad Simuri. But now man down for Drukpa. It will be the home team's possession. Bella. Woo Kyung-yun. Risky play. Let it roll. And now Sadiq Suli. Chance to play it up to Tawa. That is past Min Shin. But Sachin Jha with the pickup. Philip Eugene played over for Hatsimuri, looking to rush. Kushan Ganijanov can't quite find a mark, and now Woo Kyung-yun for the recovery. Fahad Simuri. Still Fahad. Stolen away. Kinzatashi over to Kushan Ganijanov. Does have Karmashirap on the line, but Chong Lee doing well covering it up. And now Alijanov sent down with a shot from Philip Eugene, which buys Thimphu City some much needed breathing room on their end. Again, despite the contact coming in from Philip Eugene at the final stretch, it was a clean defensive possession coming in from Drukpa. Did not allow a single passing lane to open, and now Bella may have a task up front for him. Ksherup too strong against Woo Kyung-yun. Sadiq Suli has Organ down the line. Jonathan in the middle as well with a lot of space, setting it up for Kamasherup for that left foot. Opts for a pass instead towards the flank. Tawa on the edge, steadily making progress in. Left foot, chips it in. Header! Jonathan Surila finally gets his name as a goal scorer at the end of an assist. And Thimphu City will finally get themselves up on the scoreboard, and the team celebration on top of that too. An effort marvelously executed from the citizens. We will get the first celebrations of the day as Drukpa caught completely off guard. A clean series of passes this time, no bad decisions. Sadiq Suli right after his yellow card. Amazing setup again. That pass that went through to Dawa first, and then Dawa who paid it back, doubled it and gave it to the next person instead. Just behind Minshin. Bella too far out. A stroke pass backline just crumbled. Thimphu now lead. 10 minutes left to go in the first half. A lot of questions to be answered. What will be Drukpa's first answer? Woo Kyung-yun played back. Sachin Jha. Kinlerab gets header, keeps it towards Kinzatashi. And now Sherup back to Kinzan. Look at this. Touches coming in from Thimphu. And now finally we are seeing an amazing touch coming in from Sadiq Suli. That is the quality I was talking about. That was on full display in the first couple of games of Thimphu's season. Eventually stopped using Sadiq Suli more of as a target man, opted more for him as a runner. But right now that same quality does seem to be back. Had two awful touches in the first few minutes of the game. But nice to know he still has it. A legend off. Played over to Kushan. Unfortunate. Taken over. Woo Kyung-yun. And now back out to Min Shin. So far, Min Shin's passes yet to find their mark for Hatimuri. Hasn't been the recipient of a long ball for so long. Sadiq Suli has Organ making a clean run down on the flank. Did not really see him, but again, an awkward angle to play a pass up. Rabgay a bit late to the challenge. Tashi keeps it towards Jonathan. But the reckless challenge is coming in from Drukpa. Will finally warrant a whistle. Sadiq Suli. Again, off topic, but I've heard many people say that he looks like Dembele, and slowly looking at him does really have similar features the more you look at him. Gieno up high in the air. What was that jump? The centre back. Again, the athleticism simply surreal. Daw, this time in the middle. May get the touch first before Philip Eugene, able to keep it towards himself as well. And now Kamashir upon the other end. Misjudged that ball slightly, and now Woo Kyung-yun over to the end. Chong Lee keeps it up in the air. Kinzatashi the first to get to it. Kushan Ganejan of the recipient again. So far, no success. Drukpa has switched things around. They have brought in Ishe over to the left and switched for Hatimuri over onto the right for a bit more hope. Woo Kyung-yun played it over to Ishe. Philip Eugene able to recover, but a ledge off, a bit reckless with that extended right foot. It will be Drukpa now with an advantageous opportunity inside Thimphu's half. With the chance to regroup, it is much better odds coming their way. But again, Thimphu City right now the team with the least goals conceded across the entirety of the tournament. Even beating Paro, who have conceded 9. Thimphu City right now throughout their record have only conceded 8, I believe. Does stand for the amazing team aggressiveness, but right now a main reason of that record is Jitin Doji with his amazing ball winning ability and his heart and pace. But he is on the bench right now, so a lot to do for the rest. Equally matched in terms of stature. Does get a foot in from Philip Eugene, but no proper contact. Gets that ball over to Tsering Tendom. Organ up front, but the flag was up, so that entire motion will be denied. Barun. Play towards Jimmy. Again, off topic, but Jimmy Tenzin and his flexibility, his adaptability, no matter what role you put him in, is just amazing. Started off as a centre-back alongside Bella down in the qualifiers. Was moved up to a midfield role. Time and time again, while Minchin was out, he was moved as the centre-back again. And now playing on the right-back position. Really hard to do, different philosophies for each position, as simple as it may look to the ordinary eye. But again, by no means is what he doing the easiest. Now, Thimphu City kept on side. Sadiq Suli making a promising run. Has Organ for help as well. Decided to send it inside. But Sachin Jha had that fully covered. Crucial saves coming in from the Drukpa goalkeeper. But look at that, Sadiq again. A lot weighing on his mind right now. Tied alongside Abayomi, Yuta Mishima and Rinzin Toji. Up at 10 goals. May have wanted to separate himself up at the top. But will have to wait for a bit longer, as it will be a retreat all the way to a corner for Thimphu City. Jonathan to set it up. Jonathan. It is a nice delivery. Header does connect, but it is the other way. Sadiq Suli tried his best adjusting with that overhead, but got that ball a bit too under. Pressure was coming in from a challenge from Woo Kyung Yun as well, so should have bothered him quite a bit to send it that high up. Towards Philip Eugene. Fahad Simuri on the flank. Does get it towards Fahad. Finally, left foot. Cross goes all the way over to the other end for a Thimphu City throw-in.